Hello everyone, my name is LJ Young and I'm a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I create plans for people to get out of debt, and I also teach people from the debt-free perspective compared to when I was in debt. So I tell you stories about my life when I was in debt versus how I see things now that I'm out of debt. This video is for the college students, probably graduating soon, graduating now, maybe they just graduated last year. This message is for you. Before I get into it, I want to say a couple of things up front so you can understand my style of teaching when I teach about personal finances. Since becoming debt-free, I now understand that money is spoken in two languages, debt and debt-free. If you've always been in debt all your life, the only language you know of is debt. People in debt have no idea about the language of debt-free or believe it even exists. So I want to make sure it's clear that when I say, you'll hear me say, you shouldn't do this, like I'm talking to you. I am talking to you, but you got to remember, I'm looking at myself too in this camera. So when I say you, I'm really kind of talking like I'm talking to my old self back when I was in debt, the things I just could not see, right? But imagine you as just the audience of me talking to myself. Now the things you're gonna hear from me are gonna sound crazy. You're gonna be like, oh, that's nuts, that's crazy. So I'm gonna give you some examples. Like, you don't need credit to survive. That's not true. That's not true. Banks, they're not this big, bad, evil entity, all right? I don't believe. And I'm going to explain all this because, again, it's going to sound crazy. But in the end, okay, in the end, if you still decide to go and do the opposite of what I'm going to tell you to do, that's fine. But just subscribe to me, okay? Because I promise you, you're going to be back. And you're going to remember. You're going to remember what I told you at the point that you press play on this video. You're going to be like, mother... God, he told me that a long time ago. He told me that way back then when I watched that video. You're gonna do that, all right? And I'm not bragging. I want you to understand, I'm not bragging at all, okay? I'm just using 6th grade math, right? I'm sure you're dreaded about the big student loan problem, right? And it is a problem. Just Google it. It's in the trillions of dollars, okay? But I'm gonna give you the debt-free perspective of how you don't have to be part of that nonsense. It's nonsense. You don't even have to be part of it. When you graduate, don't do like everybody else. When it comes to your finances, you do the opposite of the majority. So when you graduate and land that great job and have that great pay, don't finance a house, don't finance a car, don't charge your clothes, don't get a ridiculous expensive apartment. Don't do none of that. Continue living the way you have been living as a student and pay that student loan off first. Don't care what your friends do. Don't follow them. They'll throw their car up in your face. They'll throw the house up in your face. Don't worry about any of that. All right? If they're financing it, it belongs to the bank. It doesn't matter what they have. If they believe they're owners of it, let them believe it. It doesn't matter. I want you to understand, student loans, unless you pay them off, they will be with you until you are dead. Like dead, like never waking up dead. You're dead. Having a bill your entire life. I'm gonna point out a couple of strange things that you probably don't notice as I call it the debt matrix. If you live in the debt matrix, you can't see outside the debt matrix. You only live in this debt matrix. And I'm gonna point out some things that don't quite make sense, but you never question it. And when I say you, I'm saying I never did either, okay? I kept my student loan for 11 years before I paid it off, before I woke up and paid it off. Have you ever noticed when you get your student loan money, sometimes it's extra in there? You gotta stop and think. If you're borrowing the money, that means you don't have the money. So you're borrowing it from somewhere. And you see extra money, you gotta stop and think to yourself, extra from what? It's not mine, it's obviously somebody else. So it's not extra anything. It's extra debt for you. Have you noticed you can take that extra money, you can spend it on tires, clothes, loan it to your friends, finance cars. You ever notice you can do all that freely without restrictions? Do you know why? Because you have to pay back every penny of that money. That debt will be with you until you're dead. Like dead, like Never waking up dead. That long. That's a long time to pay on a debt. Now, what I want you to understand also is don't get caught up. You know, it's easy to get caught up about all the people complaining about the student loan debt crisis, okay? Everybody's complaining about these student loans. Nobody twists nobody's arm to sign that paperwork to do it. Nobody. We did it all on our own. So now you got to take responsibility for that. When you're out there and you hear all these people complaining about student loan debt, you got to be careful of who you're hearing that from. That's very important. Earlier I stated about the language of debt and debt-free. There's people that speak debt and only know debt. I'm going to give you the language of debt-free. When you hear people, you got to be very careful, okay? If you hear somebody tell you they're complaining about student loan debt, right? And they got a financed house and a financed car and all this stuff. If they don't know, that's financial advice. If they don't know, they're in the negative. 6th grade math, people, 6th grade math. And I know it sounds insulting, but it's not. It's that serious. Apply 6th grade math to the finances. If they didn't know they were in the negative and didn't know they didn't have the money for the car, for the clothes, they're in the negative. Take 6th grade math and apply it to your own finances, right? If you add up all your debt plus your savings and you're in a negative, you're in a negative. That means you have no money. Now, if you see people, and it's hard, if you see people with all this stuff, right? You see all this stuff and you think they must have money and you don't know about money, of course you're going to think that, okay? But this is all you got to do. You got to think like a business, the business of you. That's how you got to treat your personal finances, like a business. So if you really want to know if this person got money, and if they'll do it, of course, I'm just saying this out loud. All you got to do is act like, be a business. If they're trying, let's say it like this. If they're trying to give you financial advice and you're agreeing with them because you see their stuff, all right? The cars, the houses, the jewelry, the whatever, all that stuff, right? This is all you got to do. Hey, can I see your personal credit report? And of course, people that live in the debt matrix, the first thing they're going to respond is with this. They're going to say, oh, my credit score is 800, 700. Then you go, no, I want to see your credit report. You know why? So you can apply the 6th grade math to their debt. That's it. Just apply the 6th grade math. And if you see it's in the negative and you want to be in the negative with them, take their advice. It's that simple. You got a decision to make right at that moment. Do I trust my math? Do I trust my 6th grade math graduating from college? That's not an insult. If you're insulted, those are feelings. Take your feelings out of your money. Never mix the two, ever. Do like the banks. Do not mix your feelings with money, ever. Banks, understand this. They're not big, bad, and evil, okay? What is the main objective? What do they do? They're in the business of making money. Of course, there's corrupt people inside the bank business, no different than any other business. People embezzle in smaller businesses all the time. Why? Because they have the debt mentality that they believe they have to steal. If you understand the system, you don't even have to come close to stealing. It will be given to you. Banks see these moments as opportunities. That's all. Their eyes open, and they're not these smart, brilliant. They structured the system properly, okay? Because it's all about psychology. It's not, the money is part of the equation, but it's the psychology of it. If you believe something is worth something or this paper is worth, you believe it. That's all that matters. If you take your advice from those type of people, you're going to be in the exact same position. That negative number is their net worth. And that's the bottom line you need to understand. Net worth. And I used to think net worth mean, oh, that only applies to rich people or whatever. I don't know why I was thinking, well, I do know now. I was conditioned to think that way, okay? The debt matrix is powerful, but I respect it. I'm not against it. I want you guys to understand, I respect the system. Whoever invented this, whatever family invented this, I don't know, but it's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. I want you to understand, it doesn't have anything to do with regular intelligence. It's social, and I don't know the name. I know there's a name for it, and I know the people that are listening to me that understand this, I know there's a name for it, people. I know it is, but I don't know it yet, but I'm getting there. And those people that understand me, they know, I don't know where, if you're looking at me, I'm sorry, I don't mean to go off. If you're looking at me and you know I know what I'm talking about, I wish to God I knew which baby step I'm on. Because I know I'm climbing each time. But anyway, back to the student loan thing. Don't do like the majority. These are the questions that you have to ask. I know you're young, I know you're new, all right? But I'm telling you, all you got to think like this. Think like this. This is important. Understand that you're young, and there's people that have been here on earth 10, 20, 30, 40 years longer than you. Okay? There's some people out here that can help you skip a couple of hurdles and get you to millionaire status fast and easy. It's not difficult. And I'm not even a millionaire. I know you're looking at me like, then what do you know? That's part of the stuff that sounds crazy to you, but you come on this side of things, you'll fully understand. If you really believe you cannot survive without credit, how do drug dealers make it in this world? You think they're worried? You think drug dealers are worried about their credit score? Now, I know you're thinking, okay, because you probably think when you're in a debt matrix, you think it has something to do with money. Oh, they got plenty of money, so they don't have to worry about it. If that's the case, then how come there's doctors, lawyers, pharmacists with student loan debt? They make a lot of money, right? They make a lot of money. Why do they have student loan debt? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the amount of money. It doesn't matter your occupation. None of that matters. And as soon as you understand that, you'll be on your way to millionaire status. I'm not even a millionaire, and I know I'm going to be there. I know you're probably thinking, how you know that? Because I know that. Again, I know what I'm saying sounds crazy. You really believe you can't get a car without credit. You can't buy a house without credit. That's 100% not true. I'm going to give you a couple of more examples, okay? Because I want to catch you guys early in your financial life where you can just turn this around now. Now take your feelings out of it, okay? Follow the math. If you walk in and ask to finance a car, you know what you're really saying? I'm going to pay more for that item than what it's worth. I accept those facts. I'm going to be locked to this thing for 72 months and pay more for it than what it's worth. If you keep doing that, it will be mathematically impossible for you to get financially ahead if you keep doing that. Now the house thing. Now I know you're thinking, I gotta hurry up and get a house. Well, let me give you two things. Remember what I said earlier? Don't mix your feelings with your money. If you go, hey, I'm almost 30. I feel like I need a house now. That's the wrong time, because you don't need a house. It takes preparation. You can't just, I feel like I'm at that age. That's a feeling. That has nothing to do with your money. Does your bank account feel the same way? If it doesn't, then you're not ready for a house. Now, for the people that have been that have accumulated student loan debt along with other credit cards, all this stuff, right? And you're probably thinking there's no way out. And you keep digging yourself, and it's not a secret. You probably think you're alone, okay? But all you got to do is Google the National Consumer Debt and realize that you're not alone. You're not the only one that mismanaged their money. You're not. But you're probably digging yourself deeper each month to keep up the facade. One day it's going to break. Okay, it's going to break. I want you to understand, you don't need credit. You think you need credit, but you don't need credit. And what I'm telling you, you're probably thinking, oh man, how could that be true? That's a big secret. It's not a secret. You know why? It's in your face every day. It's not. None of this is hidden when I'm telling you. Me even talking about it really doesn't matter. Why? Because you don't psychologically believe it. Even though, check it out, even though I can prove it with math, you still won't believe it. That's how powerful this is. Whoever invented this, the psychology behind it is brilliant. You can't care about the people that are around you. Most likely those people are in a debt matrix with you. So you're thinking about impressing other people like you. That's it. You're not people that manage their money well, none of that stuff impresses us at all. You know why? It's depreciating stuff, nothing more. There is a system in place, and bankruptcy is part of that system. Or else it wouldn't be there. Somebody put it there. You think it's just for losers? That's not true. That's not true. It's not for losers. Now, the people that don't manage their money well, those are the people that use it over and over and over and over again, right? Bankruptcy is just not for losers. It's only when, if you use it and you don't learn the very reason why, what got you to bankruptcy, if you don't stop and think, hey, what got me here? Let me learn from this. Because most people, you know what they do? They file bankruptcy, and then they worry about getting their credit back up, start paying, and start doing the things that got them there in the first place, not learning one thing. You know what the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. That makes absolutely no sense.